What it do, what it does, everything you know about me is real. I'm a beast, I'm a soldier, I'm so fucking real. I wanna see you on the dance floor when they play my jam. I'm on a mission for the angels, sing my name. If you wanna see this world I do, you better get up on your feet, do something about it. Put it up, turn it up, hear them voices running on the steps. Turn it up, turn it up. Turn it up, turn it up. Turn it up, turn it up. Don't worry, I see ya on the dance floor, but everything I see about you is deeper. I'm the general wise man in command. Never mind when we rule, cause the struggle is real. I'm on a mission for the angels, see my name. If you wanna see the world I do, you better get up on your feet and do something about it. Just turn it up, hear the voices in my head. Just turn up the microphone so I can spread the love so far. This thing goes way beyond the music, so far, so far. I represent with my voice for the angels. Turn it up, turn it up. 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 on a desert island in the middle of the sea. All I need is you with me. Anywhere in the world, I wanna be with you. I don't wanna spend another minute away from you. So let me call my mother and let me call my father. Let us reunite our families and tell them I choose you and you choose me. So make it everlasting. Oh baby, make it everlasting. You and I, you and I. So make it everlasting. Make it everlasting. You and I. You and I. Mothers have been waiting for this day, for this day. Oh, I've been waiting so long for this. So make it everlasting. Make it everlasting. You and I. You and I. I love you. I love you. I love you. You don't wanna just to be my wife. Yeah.
Mic check. Yes, you're welcome to Club Shada episode 275. I hope everybody's doing great. I hope everybody is in the best moods. I hope you had a great beginning of the week, and I did. Didn't work that much since I came back from Madrid. Gearing my mind, getting ready to go to work on NFT collections, NFT art, plus more music. This show is brought to you by ShadaWare.com. Gods of good fortune. It is midnight and 44 here in Lisbon, Portugal. This thing is itching my ears. I have to do something about it. Am I getting allergic to this, or they just need to be cleaned? I don't know. It's a nightmare. Or maybe it's just my ears. Anyway, I'm gonna buy some new stuff anyway. As I was saying, it is midnight and 44 here in Lisbon, Portugal. Everybody, put in the chat the flag of where you're watching from and what time it is where you're watching from. If you are from on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube, welcome to the Shada gang. Listen, sometimes Facebook, for no reason, cuts this live because I'm playing copyrighted music from an artist called Kaysha, and sometimes Facebook tells me that I'm playing Kaysha from music. That's why they stop my live. They're not that smart. So if you're watching from Facebook, I would invite you to come over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and so you know on YouTube there's no interruption unless my internet goes down, which doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. I want to acknowledge the stream royalty, Mr. Dan Tana, with a donation of $15. You can always donate with the super chat on YouTube. And I want to also say thank you to all the sponsors who are making this show possible with making this show possible with your donation. I'm tired today. Let me see. Oh, interesting. For the first time, we have like half and half people on YouTube and Facebook. Usually everybody's on YouTube and there's a few people on Facebook. So that's interesting. I like it. It means that, forget everything I said. Now it's like 75% on YouTube and 25 on Facebook. It just changed. And there's 1% on Twitch. But listen, if you're on Facebook, come over to YouTube. That's where it would usually are. But I'm testing the live. Listen, I can stream to multiple platforms, so why not? And soon, not yet, but soon, we'll be live on Instagram as well, and maybe Twitch. It depends. I'm still waiting on the details, etc. Anyway, boa noite, Marinalva. What a nice name. Obrigado, Elaine. Muito obrigado. Was good, Jay. Was good, Free. Was good, Yannick. 746 was good, Emery. Midnight and 44 in York, England. Well, listen, Meta did a wrong decision last year, calling themselves Meta and going all in on the metaverse. But this year, they decided that they're back to the fundamentals, which is the user base, Instagram, etc. So the metaverse craze is over for now. It doesn't mean that it's not being worked on. It just means that it was too early to go crazy on that. But you know, these American companies, that's the way they work. There's a buzzword and everybody wants in. NFTs, crypto, metaverse, etc., etc. Listen, most of those people, they arrive, somebody says, we have to be in the metaverse. And maybe somebody asked a question, yeah, to do what? And nobody has the answers, but everybody's working on it anyway. So we have to have Zara in the metaverse. Okay, what we're gonna do? All right, well, you can have your avatar and you can dress them. You mean like The Sims? Yeah. And then you can buy some clothes for your avatar with your crypto. Okay. How many people are gonna do that exactly? No, but you're gonna live there and you're gonna do your meetings there, and like, you mean instead of Zoom? It's just like the hype. Listen, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. That's it. Suprême. C'est Suprême K ou Supremec? I don't know. Mais bonsoir quand même. I think AI will take the metaverse to a new place. Oh yeah, listen. AI is the revolution. Is a revolution, I believe, that is on the level of the revolution that was the internet or the first iPhone. But next show will be all about the AI wars that are coming. Microsoft just invested $1 billion in ChatGPT, and they're gonna incorporate it into Bing, which makes Google very, very, very nervous. So they're running to do their own version. And yeah, listen, AI is the next real revolution. But I'm still doing my research. So next week, AI. Next week. Today, it's Zouk Monopoly. 4 degrees. We gained 40 degrees in a couple of days. Damn. Yo. Saint-Claude dans la place. 7:49 out there in Canada, I guess, or in the US. Oh no, you're in the US. Aye. Crypto-driven second life. That's, yeah, listen. Yep. Oi, Asia from Mozambique. Oh, muito obrigado. Ah, Supreme K. Ah, cool. Supreme K ou Supreme K? le gars qui veut les détails. Ah, muito obrigado. Oh, listen. Exact everything. But yeah, next week. Master Electronic, what up? What it do? How you doing? I hope you're doing good. Oh, my boy Keter. Well, you have to come back Sunday. Sunday we're gonna talk AI. Sunday, I was actually watching documentary, and I was like, yo, I have to learn more about that. But listen, I have a song that is coming out in March that I wrote. I just told ChatGPT, this is the beginning of the lyrics. This is what I'm going to talk about. And he just did the whole verse. And then after that, I changed it to my liking. And I was like, yo, I'm going to make so much money with that stuff. But don't worry. Sunday. How you doing, my bro? I'm going to Florida soon. 1:52 p.m. 1:52 a.m. in Sweden. I hate when I'm tired. Like, all my words are like, yeah. It is what it is. So listen, before we start talking about the few subjects that I have for you tonight, and I got two of them for tonight. I have a list of subjects. My list is crazy. I got a list of things that I want to talk about, and I try to keep it at free so I can keep the show under an hour and a half. But yeah. Yay! For sure, for sure. All right, listen, guys. First of all, everybody, don't forget to put your likes, whatever the platform you're at, whether it is on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. We need those likes for the algorithms. Before we begin, I want to extend my thoughts and prayers for the people in Syria and the people in Turkey. The images are wow. Listen, the international news was so focused on Ukraine that it felt like the rest of the world didn't exist, and the rest of the problems and wars in the world didn't exist. And if you had the audacity to say what I just said, everybody goes crazy. And listen, that seeing the images of not only the buildings collapsing just like that, like 5,000 buildings collapsing, like the images are the images are crazy. I think there's already like 11,000 people that are gone, and most of the cities, when you see how they were before and how they are now, it is a pure catastrophe. And sadly, yeah, they live on the line. So, but listen, oh my God, it's already 12,000 people dead and 5,000 buildings that had just collapsed. Like, they collapse just like cards. They just like gone. And I was watching a lot of these images, and I was just saying to myself, like, I always feel safe when I'm in my house, when I'm in my building, on my high floor. And these just yo, you mean you can be in your house under your table thinking you're safe, and then all of a sudden the whole thing collapses? Sorry about that, I forgot to remove the whole thing collapses. Whew. To me, it's really it is scary. It is scary, and it also shows something about a lot of these constructions. I believe that when you think about a city like Tokyo, for example, Japan is also on a seismic area, and every building is built with seismic prevention inside of them. They build a way where the building moves when the earth moves, the building moves as well. And there's some things, like, I don't know how it is built. I don't know about the subject, but they are built to sustain the crazy amount of earthquakes that you have in that region. But you could see from all these buildings that they were cheaply built because, yeah, lack of money, lack of a lot of things. And sometimes, yeah, a lot of people, they want to build with the least money possible so they can make a return on investment. And whenever I want to buy a house, that's why to me, like, looking at a house, visiting a house, and listen, of course I understand that I have the privilege of being able to afford it, but if the building looks very old, or the canalization, everything, like if the building looks old, I'm not renting it. I don't want to live there. I don't want to put my family there. But imagine all these people that don't have a choice and then find themselves trapped with the whole building collapsing, or you have some kids, like the whole family is gone and they just, as a miracle, they just survived, but they lost everybody. So their life is changed already. Like the life is ruined already. And I was watching all this and I was like, oh my God, this is so sad. And listen, as always to me, like whenever these things happen, the first thing I do is I go to my app and I donate. I try to donate monthly to different causes. I always donate for Congo. I always donate for other parts of the world. And when things like this happen, that's the first thing I did. I don't of course I don't tweet about it. I don't post. I do it for myself. I don't do it for promo. But listen, I did my own donation, and I encourage everybody to go and give. And listen, I know we are in a place where there's a lot of political instability, and a lot of people are called the enemies. But I believe that that's the point where you have to remember that everybody's human, and if you can help, just go help. It's not about what country it is. It's about other humans needing the help, any help that they can get. If you don't have money to donate, send the clothing, send stuff. I send stuff all the time. As I told you, like we have our thing going on in Africa. And yeah, every time I don't wear something, instead of putting it in the trash, I donate. I give it to the people who need it. So yeah, listen, I at a point I just stopped watching, because yeah, it just creates anxiety. And you just imagine, like, how much buildings is 5,000 buildings? Phew. That is something. But listen, prayers for everybody. Yeah, listen, for those who lost somebody, prayers for you. And keep your head up. That's all I can say. And same goes to everybody that is forgotten by the news all the time, because people only care for a few time, or they care about what they see on TV. And listen, keep your head up, everybody in RCA, north of Cameroon, Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan, Ukraine, of course, Russia, everybody that is the victims of conflict or losing people, and etc. etc. This is a crazy world. But listen, 5,000 buildings. I think my whole neighborhood is not even like 500 buildings. I don't know. Imagine. That's traumatizing. And Jay, what up, brother? How you doing? 5:57 in Mountain. I'm tired. Yeah. 12,000, bro. Yeah. Turkey and Syria, 12,000. That is too many. That's too many. That's well. Listen, I mean, everybody has their method that they use. I help through Revolut, which is my the app where I have some money in. I buy some crypto there, so I just took some crypto. I changed it instantly to US dollars, and I send that money to a relief organization inside of Revolut. But sometimes I use the Red Cross. Sometimes it depends. I look at, and I'm also gonna help through my daughter's daycare because they're organizing something too for the babies. So I'm gonna buy some. Diapers, things for babies, and we all the parents we just give everything at the reception of the daycare, and then they will take care of the rest. What t-shirt design? This one? It's a face. I think I bought it at Zara. Not sure. But yeah. It's nice, huh? I think it's the style of, I forgot this designer who started this. Actually, he wants to sue all these company because they've been ripping off his style. And good luck with AI. Oh my God. C'est trop triste. Listen. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next subject. And I'm sorry if I keep not saying my words good. I'm just tired. Oh, they got it. Oh Lord. Listen. What's good, my brother? Gellas, what up? So I don't know if you heard about it. I mean, if you're in the US, you could not hear about it. Everywhere in the world as well. I mean, in the Occidental world, it was like a subject of importance. It kind of make me laugh, but there was this mega huge balloon, which is the size of five buses. That went over Canada and went over the US, and there's another one over the South America. And the Americans went crazy about it. Like, they just listen. It's political. The Americans, they need an enemy, and they know that China might surpass them, in terms of economic power, and then even as a superpower, they might, or they're trying. And now anything Chinese is the new Russians for them. And so they finally decided, once it was over the sea, they decided to shoot down the balloon. So Chinese balloon is part of a worldwide fleet, the US officials say. Yeah, okay. The US believe a suspected Chinese surveillance balloon that was shot down over its territory is part of a wider fleet that has spanned 5 continents. The US was not the only target of this broader program, said Anthony Bilkin. He added that the US had shared information gathered from the balloon debris with dozens of other countries. China has denied that the balloon was used for spying purposes and says it was a weather device blown astray. Listen. You know, to me, listen, understand. It's your territory, you have to protect it, blah, 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 blah. But the Americans doing all this cinema about this story when, yo, they are the worst. They are the ones who spy on everybody, including their own allies. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if I can find. When was it? That was not last year. Oh yeah? Oh. That was in 2015. I think people forgot about that. The US spied on Merkel. Merkel was the chancellor of Germany, and other Europeans through Danish cables broadcaster. The NSA, the US National Security Agency, used a partnership with Denmark's Foreign Intelligence Unit to spy on senior officials of neighboring countries, including German Chancellor Angela Merkel, Danish state broadcaster said, oh my God. Finding are the results of a 2015 internal investigation in the Danish Defense Intelligence Service into NSA's role in the partnership. And I remember when this happened in 2005, listen, systematic wiretapping of close allies unacceptable. That's what they say. I remember it was 2013, 2014. The Americans have been spying on everyone forever. They have, people, looking at all them, all these people, all the presidents, the prime ministers, etc. And every country, they have spies. I mean, every country has spies. But the way they are making a fuss about it, as if they didn't have spy themselves. Like, listen, they have an agency. It's called the NSA. They have people inside of Twitter, the FBI. They have people into Twitter, into companies. They put spies everywhere in their own country, plus outside. And now they're all acting as if like, oh my God. So yeah, listen. Yeah, they put a balloon because, they're checking out your territory. And maybe they want to provoke you. Who knows? But to me, I think American politics are broken. And everybody is just now here for the show. And more for the show, more trying to just be elected through all the circus that American politics have become. And more than, really wanting to serve your country. That's my opinion. You don't have to share it. But yeah, I mean, when I was seeing that, I just laughed. I was just like, really? Really, America? But hey, listen, all good. And that's true. The balloon is the best penetration technique when it comes to spies, because it first of all, a satellite is way too far. Satellites are way too far. So you get fuzzy images, and the satellites are in orbit, so they cannot really photograph the same thing for a long time. When a balloon is like 20 kilometers up, and it can just, it's before the stratosphere. And it's a little murky in terms of international law if it's US sovereign territory, or if it's, when you are not far from the stratosphere, it belongs to nobody. So, and with a balloon, you can just put it on a place where you want to photograph stuff and then continue. So, yeah, they got all the information they need, and who knows what they're gonna do with it. Pegasus from Israel rocked every spy techniques in terms of technology. Yeah, listen, those people are on some other level. That's true. When one's main tools are propaganda and war, then these tools will be used everywhere. Preach, 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 preach. But anyway, let's go to our main subject, because I really need to sleep. Actually, to explain to you why I'm tired like this, I did a checkup today. A 3 month later, after losing all the weight, etc., and before going to my doctor's appointment in a month or something, or in a few weeks, I had to get some blood samples. So they drained me out of my blood, and yeah, I've been tired the whole day, but now I really feel it. It's like I slept a little bit, but not too much. But now I'm really like feeling the and I didn't even take vitamins or something. Yeah, maybe I should have taken vitamins. But hey, listen, I'm gonna sleep in half an hour, 30 minutes. Dalia! Did you see how I fixed the problem I had? Look, beam. For those who follow. Those who don't, never mind. How you doing, sis? What's up? What's good? What's poppin'? Comment sont les choses? Nous, on est là, nous souffrons. So I want to talk to you about the Zouk monopoly, and how it was a great thing to be part of, and how ultimately it turned out to be the way that label shot themselves in the foot. And it's interesting, when you leave those things from the inside, you really don't see them the way people see them out from the outside. From the outside, it's amazing for everybody, etc. From the inside, you might have a different way to think. But not only I found it very interesting and instructive in terms of business moves, but I also think there's some stuff you can take from that story. So in 98, released my first album, 99, second album, 2001-ish. I leave the label with Sony, etc. I stay on Sony I stay at Sony Publishing, but I leave out of the rest. And lol. Obrigado. So now In 2003, I started working with Section Zouk, which was a label that actually captured probably 85% of the market when it comes to Zouk music in France and the French West Indies. And at a point, it was not my design, but it was very interesting to work with them and see it from the inside, how the market was completely captured and how we used it to really fascinate the market, but how at a point I really felt like we needed competition. We needed somebody as big as us, because it just became so many conflicts of interest that it was impossible to work in this environment, which is why ultimately I left that label and I also moved to Portugal, because I was like, yeah, the market is disgusting. And I would say it took a good 13 years. And I think we're still in the process, but it took a long time for the market to clean itself from that. But it was fascinating to be inside and to see how the whole market got inside of an iron fist of Section Zouk. And it was great to benefit from it. So I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying how it was. So how do you capture a market like this and completely make it your market and leave only crumbles for the competition? I don't know how they started, but I'm going to give you all the points and how the market was completely surrounded by us at that time. First thing we had was access to the two main radios in Paris, and access to a lot of radios in the West Indies, in Martinique, Guadeloupe, Guyane. And we had people that were working on radios on a payroll, so that whenever we would tell them, hey, this song is the next hit, they would play it so much that it would become number one in the radio, and it would become a hit anyway from those main radio DJs and animators. We had a bunch of people working at radios that were working for their radios, but also working for us. That was first point. Second point, we had the best free managers. Especially one. We had one team of managers that were linked to all the clubs in France and the West Indies. And those people were working with the label, and at the same time they were signing all the artists in a management contract. Then you had to sign publishing if you wanted to be on the label, or if you wanted to be promoted, so that anybody who would be signed to the publishing would be in some compilations like Section Zouk All Star, and then on the compilation that were given to other labels as well, which would generate in exchange, that would generate publishing money, and 50% of that publishing money would come back to the label, and the other would go to the artists. And those who didn't want to sign their publishing and it was very few. I mean, I was independent and strong enough to not do it, but most people had to do it. And then you had all the supermarkets in Martinique and Guadeloupe playing the music while you're shopping. In exchange, when these supermarkets tell the collecting society, we played this, and this month, we played those songs, the supermarket have to pay the collecting societies, and the collecting societies would pay the artist and the publisher being us. So the money would just do full circle. And imagine that at that point, at that time, the next thing he did was put an iron fist on the market in the West Indies, which means that if you wanted to book the main artists in the label, you had to sit down with him and he would tell you who you can have, when, and do your calendar with you as booking the shows. So at a point, the whole market, I think we arrived to a monopoly of 85 to 90% of the market at a point. All we didn't do was compilations, CD compilations. And I was saying we should do them, but I don't know, somehow we never went that far. And it was really an interesting moment, because when you're there, I would say the best moment were between 2003, when I did Soumia's album and my album with On Dit Quoi, and maybe 2006. Those were the best 3 years to be part of that system, because when you would release a track, the main personality, the main radio personalities would come to the studio to listen to the song that you knew was a hit. And they would hear it before everybody, and they would be like, yo, and they would go crazy, and you could do the plan with them. And from there, you would do a bunch of shows with the managers that were working at the record company. So it really created a monopolistic environment where you had all the artists, all the publishing, you owned all the masters, and you had deals with all the clubs, and all the managers were working for their artists, but also with you. And at a point, I remember telling everybody, this is a massive conflict of interest. At a point, I told everybody, yo, listen. And because me, I've always been independent. So the deal I had with them was not a deal of I'm signing with you guys. And my deal was I create my albums and you put them to the market. But because my albums were number one and the artist that was assigned, Soumia, Elisio, Abéché, were number one as well. So I have the force to just control my destiny, and I own my master from the get-go. And some of them we did 50-50, but at a point I just recuperated everything. But for the rest of the artists, at a point I was like, yo, that's a conflict of interest. Because look, if you have a professional manager, right? And your professional manager is booking you a date somewhere. Let's say somebody wants you in Mexico and they're willing to pay you $5,000 for your show. or let's take simpler numbers. They're willing to pay you $1,000 for your show. A good manager would tell the people in Mexico, all right, you want such artist, it's gonna cost you $1,000, but you have to give us 50% at the reservation to make sure your date is in the calendar. And if you cancel the date for no serious reason, we keep the 50%. We keep the 50%. And if there's really a cas de force majeure, you have 6 months to book and to pay the other 50% before the show begins. So a good manager will do that to protect you from all these fraudulent promoters. The problem is, at a point, the labels started organizing their own tours in the West Indies. So your manager would tell you, hey, you have a show in Guadeloupe, and then if your show got canceled for whatever reason, and they would often tell you, oh, it's bad weather or something, you would tell your manager, okay, where's my 50%? And they would tell you, oh no, that's for the label, so there's no 50%. It's family. And that's when I started telling artists there's a conflict of interest here. Because not only the management group that was handling probably 80% of the artists in the label, they were in bed with the label. So how can you protect the interests of the artist if you work with the label? That's a conflict of interest. If three girls are competing with each other, even if they are in the same label, don't forget that it was an umbrella label, and then you had all the different labels inside. You had Nicole's Erogen, you had Marvin's label, you had my label Sushiro, you had a Face à Face label, you had and then you had the main label. But let's say you have 5 girls, all of them are in all the 5 different labels, but they all have the same manager. If they are competing with each other and they have the same manager, if one is not willing to perform for whatever price the manager is saying, she can get pressured because they will tell them, hey, the other one wants to do it. Or if your show get canceled in the West Indies and you don't understand why, and you didn't have 50%, but your manager is also working with the person who now has a show on the same date as you, when it's supposed to be because of the weather, it means that you've been exchanged, or somebody applied pressure, because then they start to be a lot of little clans because there's a lot of money coming in. And that's exactly what happened. It started being full of clans, and the labels started to participate in their favorites and just not help the rest. And this, yeah, listen, a pure exploitation, bro. And I remember sitting down with 2 artists and telling them, listen, your manager is also the manager of this girl that is sitting with us. So it was 2 girls, famous, both of them. I told them, listen, your manager, you guys, you both have the same manager or the same management team. Those people are also managing this guy who's your ex, and this guy, this girl who's his actual girlfriend, and this girl who's another ex-girlfriend, and all 3 of you are in competition because you are all doing the same thing. And whenever your shows are canceled, you don't get 50%. So you can prepare, you can do your plans for the summer because somebody told you you're gonna have 8 shows, you're gonna get like, let's say 1,000 per show. So you said, okay, I'm gonna make 8K. I'm gonna pay half of my rent. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Then I'm gonna go on holidays, etc. And they can call you 2 days before the tour begins to tell you it's canceled, and you don't have compensation because the show is organized by your manager and your label. That's a conflict of interest. And it's even worse if somebody tells you, I'm sorry, your song cannot play on the radio this summer because they only take big artists this summer. And then another label that's inside of, another sub-label that's inside of the whole umbrella, they have 3 new artists that just started and they're playing on the radio. And you're like, wait a minute, I thought it's only new artists. And then you start realizing that there's some favorites and that the label is not being fair to everybody because, yeah, some people, they want to play the dirty game. And so I talked with these girls, explained to them my vision of the whole thing, and how I believe that they should try to get themselves some new management. Not because I had a problem with the management, just because of the conflicts of interest. And I was telling them you should have somebody that is exterior to the label and that will help you do this and that. And the first thing they did was send them to the West Indies to a free show, where they went, of course, and then work their mind to remove from the hard drives everything I said. Because my point of view of protecting artists was way too dangerous for the business. And they called me and they told me, Kay, stop trying to fuck up the business. I was like, no, I'm explaining to artists how they're supposed to run the business if they want to have longevity in this business. And you guys, Feliz Noite, and you guys are here telling me that I'm a problem for the business. No, you guys should handle your business in a way that artists feel protected and they feel at home, safe, not where they have to play le jeu des chaises musicales and there's only like 5 chairs and it's 30 of them. And then it's always the same people that are going to the West Indies, and you don't take some new people. And at that point, I remember I signed Mika Mendes. I was doing the second album of Looney Johnson, and all they were telling me were like, yeah, we want to go to the West Indies. We want to go there because we also want to feel the force of Section Zouk behind us. But because we were not part of that little mafia that was being done, they never went. And he felt bad for me because now they were looking at me funny. Oh, we thought you had power, but actually you don't. And at a point, I sat down with the owner of the label, who was my partner at the time. And I told him, bro, you are about to implode, to make your business implode. Because you are betting on the wrong horses, first of all, and you are making a ton of enemies because of the way you are handling the business, because you feel almighty and powerful. And there's a lot of artists that, because they're not part of the label, because they're not part of the management, and because they're not signed to you or they don't give you publishing, because you have deals with all the clubs, you are preventing them from singing, from doing their job, from doing what they love, which is performing, and you are making it political. Because they were telling people, hey, if you take this artist, well, you will not have that one. And that one was the number 1 selling artist, the top one. So, or you want to take let me not say names. And they were starting to put this type of pressure on promoters as well, on clubs, on people who were doing parties. They were telling them, hey, this summer you cannot take this person because she's not one of us. And me, I was looking at them. I remember I was like, yo, like, since when did we become that? Since when you want to decide who performs or not? And he was like, no, I'm not deciding. I'm saying, no, that's what you're doing in front of me. You are trying to tell those people that they cannot have people that are outside of the label perform in their club. And you're threatening them using the fact that you have the top 10 artists. When there's nobody, you can let other people play. They didn't want to know. What happened was that after I had the conversation, he told the people, listen, you can play. Yeah, it's okay. Let them play. Let them do the show. Pay them whatever you want to pay. It's all good. But you know what he did? In a geography, it's an island. So let's say there's a show in a club called L'Impératrice or whatever. Listen, there's a club is here and there's a show here. He would take all the other artists and he would call the 5 clubs that surround the place where you're performing, and he would send his artists sing for free because they're here on holiday anyway. So they were like, hey, go sing a song, each of you, in 2 or 3 songs in the 5 clubs surrounding this area. Why? So that it could destroy anybody. Let's say there's supposed to be 300 people going to this club. Now, if you have 5 clubs with your different favorite artists performing all around, maybe 50 people will go here, 50 will go there, 20 will go there, and all of a sudden, instead of having the 300 people that you were supposed to have, you only have 75 people in your show. So it looks empty, it's not good for the photos, and the club might say, we're sorry, we can't pay you. And that's what they started doing to everybody who was not agreeing with them. And me, I was like, yo, you guys are about to destroy the whole ecosystem that you built, because now you are using it against art and artists. You are not using it for the benefit of everybody. And yeah, listen, it's your label, it's your thing. So yeah, you have to use it for us first. But then it doesn't mean that anybody that is not in the label cannot perform. And that's when I said to myself, we need to have another huge label that would take, let's say we have 85%. We should go from 85% to maybe, 45% market share, and have this other label have 40% or 30% of market share, so that artists that are in our camp or not in our camp, they can choose between this place and that place. And if we equally powerful, now the business can be healthy, because the artists always have the choice to go to another label if they're not happy. Because what happened here was that there was a lot of women, especially women, that felt exploited, and there was a lot of women that felt like they felt that they could not complain, because if the management has 10 artists and all these 10 girls are your competition, if you complain about something, well, we can use any one of the other 9 if you don't want to do it. No, it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just that I would need to have this and that, and I cannot sleep in this type of hotel and that. Oh, well, such and such can. And now you're pressured because you need to pay your rent. So you have to go do these small shows in a lot of places where you don't want to go for very small amount of money, because you are now saturating the market, and you all going, and you all want to go every summer, and you all want to go in December. You all want to go all the time, and you don't leave the space for the younger, the new people that are coming after you, because you want to keep the market for yourself. But what you don't realize is at a point you have to go back to the studio to make more new music. So while you're in the studio, let the new kids go, or one of you go to attract the population, and you bring 2-3 new acts with you, and then those people become bigger, and then while you're there, the rest of the big artists are in the studio working. So when they're done working, they can go and present their new work. But no, you're obsessed with being here so much that you don't work on new stuff. And I signed AC Jordan to my label around 2006 or 2007, I don't remember. Working on his album. And as I'm working on his album, I have one single that is really working on the radios. So I tell the guys from the label, especially the owner, because I wasn't speaking to number two. I was speaking between bosses. So I tell the guy, listen, I need my guy to go to the West Indies this summer. He doesn't need to be paid for the shows. I just want him to be seen. I want him to, whenever you have some shows that you sold, whatever, have him perform one song, that new song, with the rest of everybody. Like, can we take him on tour? And I would love to have his song play on the radio. And you know what happened? At that time, there were 2 artists that were on the top, and it was mostly girls, but there were 2 guys. And those guys, they went and they pressured the owner of the label, because they didn't want a 3rd guy. They were happy with their duopoly. I'm Apple, you Google. We don't need fucking Microsoft. Or I'm Instagram, I'm Twitter. We don't want TikTok to come play. That's exactly what happened. And they put pressure so that AC's song would never go on the radio, and that at the same time he wouldn't go, because they didn't want competition. And I was like, okay, that's when I told all my artists, all right, listen, my time here is done. 2007, that's when I stopped performing in the West Indies, because there was no market for me. I was not interested in getting paid the prices people were wanting to pay. And I was like, okay, I'm about to be out of this label. And I think I was out around 2009 or 10, because I take my time. I prepare myself. But 2009, 2010, all my masters, took everything and started working on the internet only. And all these people were laughing. All of them. I fell off. La, la, la. Yeah. And I started working on this YouTube channel seriously. I started making money from that YouTube channel. I was making enough money from that channel to pay my rent, and enough money from iTunes sales to live a decent life, and then a few shows, and I was good. But all these people, they were happy because, one less. And me, I was like, I'm leaving you guys on the Titanic as I'm going straight forward. And you know what happened? After, probably 2012 or 13, or maybe before, I don't remember the timeline, the whole label imploded. Because all the little mafia, they started infighting inside of the label. And because they were enabled by the people who were putting money on top of all these monkeys. And that's when the whole Zouk monopoly the Zouk monopoly turned into Zouk nightmare. And I learned a lot from that. And I had a conversation today with a guy who was the biggest label of I mean, he was the top label of Portugal like 2 years ago. And I remember 2 years ago I was telling him, be careful, this. And he was listening to me, but he was like, yeah, right. I can do it better than him because whatever. That's what they all think. And you know what happened? Today, the first thing he told me was, bro, everything you said 2 years ago is resonating in my head. I was like, yeah, been there, done that. And what I learned from this experience is that it is very important to have, to always have, I would say, to always have a real competition. It's always important. Not only it gives you drive, but then the fact that they will try stuff that you might not have tried will make you want to try stuff as well. You know, when I look at my stats on Spotify for artists and other platforms, once I checked all my stuff, I also look at the stats of different artists just to see where I am in terms of stream numbers compared to some people. And some people, I remember last year or 2 years ago, I was looking at them and they were doing like 3 million stream a month. And I was like, yo, 3 million stream a month. I want to get there. But I was like, okay, I'm far from there because I was making, 600,000 stream a month. I was like, yo, listen, I got to multiply and work. And listen, with what's happening with something going on and etc., I'm now at 1.4 million stream a month. So if I double, I'm reaching some artists that I've been seeing in my objective as a friendly competition. It's not like I want to be in front of them. It has nothing to do with that. It's just that sometimes you need the competition to drive you. If Apple didn't have Google to compete with them, they would be a little tyrannic with their designs, with the way and the operating system and whatever. If Instagram didn't have Twitter or TikTok, those people wouldn't innovate because they would be like, yeah, everything is fine. So I think it's very important, and I learned that really from that. The Zouk industry at a point had one big player and then a lot of small players. It really lacked another one or two big players to divide the market, 33% for you, 35% for you, and whatever is left for you. And I believe that would have been a healthy competition, because if an artist can leave your label to go to the competition, that's when you're scared to leave your artist, so you treat them well. But if you know that if an artist leaves your label, not only there's nowhere to go, but also you can block him from performing in the islands where the money is made in the summer, and you can call all the clubs that you work with in France and tell them, hey, if you work with that guy, you don't work with us. And that becomes dangerous for art itself. And that's exactly how I felt about it. And I told them all the time, I said, guys, be careful, this, that. And they were like, bro, listen, let's just exploit all these people. I was like, no, that's not what we're supposed to do. And I might be a CEO, I might be a businessman, but I'm an artist too. And some of these artists, I launched their careers. So I feel responsible for what's going on next for them. And the way you are conducting it doesn't make sense. But at the same time, all these artists were so driven by their egos that everything I said, the artists didn't care about it. They were just like, yeah, oh, let's go do these free shows so we can exist and be there. Because everybody just wanted to exist. When me, I was like, no, we have to have a business plan and we have to work today for in 10 years in your career. I want you in 10 years to make at least 2,000 every month from your catalog. Because I want you at a point to, I own your catalog now, but I want you that maybe the next album I do it, but then the next singles and your presence online becomes yours. Like you own your singles, you do, even if I can record for you, but you have to start having your own catalog because I believe in the power of catalog. And when I was telling this to people in 2007, they were looking at me like, what is this guy talking about? I just want to go do shows because all these other girls are there and I want to be there. And me, I was like, no, listen, if you have your own catalog, then you don't need shows. But I was driven by vision. They were driven by ego. And this changed everything. And that's how that label died. Well, let me look at your comment before I go to sleep, because I'm sleepy now. Feliz Noite Zamuddin on Facebook. They send them to the West Indies for a free show and work their minds to remove from their hard drive everything I said. Yeah, man. You quoting Kaysha all the time. That's true. It happened. It happened. That was crazy. Les débuts du Kaysha Funky Show. J'étais en train de regarder le Kaysha Funky Show en plus la dernière fois et je vais poster un extrait sur TikTok de pourquoi les artistes trahissent leurs producteurs. Listen, those people were on full bullying mode. I'm telling you, that was crazy. Those times were crazy, and they took the less intelligent people and they put a ton of money on them and they gave them a lot of power. And ultimately, that is what those are the people who turned against them and destroyed the company. But hey, what am I gonna do? Happened what happened, and ask to everybody where they are, and look where I am. Hey, listen, guy. I would love to continue talking to you about all these things and taking questions, but I'm really feeling that the fact that I got my blood removed today, I'm really feeling it. I'm really feeling that I'm like weak. So I think I'm gonna do an exception and get I'm gonna get some vitamins. Maybe I'm just gonna go to bed and rest, because that's what I need. There are certain fields which will always expose people for who they truly are. That's why I love watching reality shows like Big Brothers and Secret Story and whatever, because that's a big revealer for people. On what platform are you going to put the Kaysha Funky Show? Oh, everything is on YouTube. This channel. You go to this channel and you look for Kaysha Funky Show, and it's there. Let me show you. So you go to YouTube like this, and you just type Kaysha, and you're gonna see my channel here. You go to my channel, right? There's a lot of videos. Look at the number of views, 174 million views. Wow. So, and in my channel, you search for Kaysha funky show. And there they are. Emmanuel Granier, Claudicia, Jacob Devarieux. I think that's all I have. Or maybe there's a few others, but there's not a lot of them. But yeah, there's a lot of things in my channel that you can see. Fine. You can also find La Voix du Sage. La Voix du Sage. What? What's going on here? Kaysha. La Voix du Sage. Huh? Oh, yeah, maybe I should learn to. Oh, I'm really tired. All right, La Voix du Sage, you got like the whole playlist is here with comment répondre à la critique facile, comment draguer en groupe, pourquoi les artistes trahissent leurs producteurs, la ligne rouge, comment gérer les rageux, pourquoi les artistes pètent-ils les plombs, la fidélité de l'homme, les femmes d'aujourd'hui, etc. Those were good things. And you know, at that point, some people wanted to buy my shows for television. And some people wanted to hire me on TV, but I was like, hey guys, I'm not interested. I'm still busy building what I'm building. But look now. That's crazy. Yeah, thanks a lot, brother. I'm really tired. I'm really feeling it. What are the new markets of Zouk now? Everywhere in the world. Everywhere Spotify is, that's a market. Hey Sabrina, hello et bonsoir. I'm going to sleep. La voix du sage, c'était bon aussi. Merci. All right, my guys. I really need to sleep because if you don't want me to fall asleep in front of you, I have to go. And I'm gonna play you. Listen, I'm gonna play you a track. Let me see. What can I play? Let me look at all my releases. I'm gonna play you Well, speaking of AC Jordan, I'm gonna play you a track by AC Jordan, Kaysha, and Malcolm Beats called Do My Thing. And I will see you. Oh, listen, I did an hour and a half. And I will see you Sunday. And I will be a little more energetic because I'm just feeling my body is about to go offline. Maybe we will do another listening party of remixes. Maybe Sunday or the Sunday after. I really want to talk about AI. So I really want to talk about a few subjects, but so we'll see. And listen, I hope you enjoy the show. As always, the show was brought to you by Shada, the Gods of Good Fortune. Thanks to our stream royalty, Dantana. You can always donate via the super chat on YouTube. Thanks to all the sponsors. It is now 2 a.m. in Lisbon, Portugal. Time for me to go get some sleep. And I will see you when I see you, Shada Gang. Let me prepare that song and play it for you guys. All right? I love the way it starts. Listen how I enter that beat. Je suis rentré dans le beat comme mon goût.
Malcolm Beats.
I came here to do my thing and I came to get my money. Hustling hard and we get the game moving. I don't wanna be a friend, I don't wanna be a homie. Ask your girl who's a new friend named KK. I work hard for the moolah. But if you my boy, I'ma keep it real. If you wanna keep it bling, I'ma keep it 100. If the sushi one thing, and that's the way we want it. So me and my homies, we're making this money. Hey. If you're trying to stop the bad things, gonna get ugly. Yeah, yeah. I work hard for the moolah, moolah, moolah. But if you're my boy, I'ma keep it real. But if you're my girl, I'ma make it deep. I work hard for the moolah, moolah. Ooh. But if you're my boy, I'ma keep it real. But if you're my girl, I keep it deep. Do my, do my, do my. Baby, I'm so fucking real, fucking real, fucking real. I'm just gonna do my, do my, do my, do my, do my. Baby, I'm so fucking real, fucking real, fucking real. I'm just gonna do my thing, do my thing, yeah. Baby, I'm so fucking real, fucking real.